As a child, I never wanted my bedroom door opened at night. I wanted my room pitch black, otherwise I had trouble sleeping. No cool night light, no hallway light on. If it wasn't as dark as the depths of the ocean, I would not sleep. My childhood was an absolute blur, but my mother always told me it was because I claimed seeing a tall man that would walk past my room at night. My mother just laughed this off as an overactive imagination, as I was 5 years old, but they still did what I requested every night when I went to sleep. My sleeping soon was disrupted as a tall man was visiting my dreams. It was always the same. He would appear in a dream I had frequently. I was always playing around a swing with 5 other girls, excited little squeals of laughter. He never did anything. He was just there, standing in the background. I never saw his face. It was underneath a black hood, but over time I realized he was getting closer and closer, and every night in my dreams the tall man's figure was there, standing stationary. The dreams became too much for a child. The more he came closer, the more bleak my dreams became, the more distorted they were. There were times during the night I would wake up screaming in sheer terror, thrashing about, covered in sweat. I would sometimes urinate myself because I was so scared. I ended up breaking my arm as I had repeatedly smacked it against the wall. My mother took me out to her doctor, who referred us to a psychiatrist. I had to tell him about the occurring dream I had where the tall man would always appear. I was examined so carefully as it was rare for children to get night terrors so frequently and as extreme as this. As I was a child, I wasn't understanding anything that was going on, but my mother had to give me 1 white pill every night before I went to bed. I didn't question what they were, but Mum said I wouldn't get to dream anymore. And she was right, of course, because I never dreamt of the tall man again. I didn't dream of anything. I'm in high school now, a quiet student who mostly enjoys being alone rather than socializing. Over the years, I've been prescribed countless numbers of pills by my psychiatrist, the same one who helped me with my night terrors. I still prefer my bedroom doors closed at night. And now I need those soft earplugs because I claim to hear soft voices, sometimes shrieks, sometimes cries in my house at night. My mother got me them after I mentioned it to her at breakfast. I'm glad she cares about my sleep. One day, I asked if I could have 1 night without taking my medication, to see if I could do 1 night without them. A lot of back and forth arguing ensued. It was decided that I had to take them, and even though I agreed that it would be the best if I just took them, I was really curious about what it would be like if I didn't take them for 1 night. So that was that. I had my earplugs and my room was going to be completely dark, so I guess 1 night was okay. I had my first dream in years that night. The dream was just a faint memory of a 5-year-old me on a swing. I watched from afar and child me was squealing with 5 other girls around my age. The dream sequence was familiar, but that's before I realized he was right next to me. The tall man. The mysterious man who haunted my dreams all those years ago. The one I claimed was walking the hallways at night, and those nights ago. Before I could move away in horror, he grabbed my arm with a strong grip. His hands were icy cold and brought a shiver up my spine. With a slow yet jerking movement, he brought up his other hand to point towards where child me and the 5 other girls were happily playing. Only now they were staring at us with solemn expressions. I tried to get loose, but his grip only tightened. Only now I realized he was trying to tell me something about the girls. The tall man let my arm go and looked at me. He leant down to whisper into my ear, "Wake up now." I jerked awake, pulling my earplugs out. What the tall man trying to explain to me, I have no idea. But something urged me to go and investigate. I never left my room at night, ever. And right now, let me tell you, I was terrified. But something told me to keep going on. Something wasn't right. There was a door that led to the basement. It always had a gigantic padlock on it. My mother said I was forbidden to ever go down there and was always in there with cleaning supplies and air freshener. But the padlock was sitting on the counter, and the basement door was opened. Curiosity got the best of me, and I head down the stairs, startled by my find. 4 girls were down there, malnourished, surrounded by fecal matter, urine, and the blood and remains of the 5th girl, who had died and had been eaten by the other hungry girls. There was a 6th figure, the body of a man that looked like it had been there for years, in the corner. Everything was a blur as I dialed 911. Police arrived promptly. Ambulances came to attend the other girls. My mother was arrested on the spot. I learned that my mother wasn't who she said she was. She was a deranged psychopath who would take me to parks to be used as bait to kidnap unsuspecting kids. She would keep these innocent children in her basement and torture them, starve them, abuse them. She would do this alongside her lover, my psychiatrist. My psychiatrist was responsible for grabbing children I had unknowingly lured in and taken them away. The recent 5 girls were kept hostage for 10 years. One of them had to be tortured to death for once trying to escape. I was also told that they had drugged me with a number of medications so I would ultimately forget everything that had happened over the years. I felt dizzy, nauseous. My mother, who I had loved and trusted with my life, was hurting the lives of others. I never knew she could do this. It pained me. Years have passed since the ordeal. I've been in a better place. I don't need pills to help me sleep. I don't mind if my door is opened at night. My mother is locked up, was charged with murders of 13 children and imprisonment of 4 others, so you can imagine how many years that will be. As for the tall man, it was revealed to me that this figure was my father. I immediately recognized him in a photo. My mother told him he was never allowed to see me after they separated. He came over and found the children in the basement and threatened to tell the police. A fight ensued, and she ended up shooting him and putting his body in the basement. After all these years, he was trying to warn me about the kidnappings that was happening right under the bottom of my house. I sometimes think to myself, what if my curiosity never got the better of me? Not to take my medication for that one night, how many more victims would my mother have had?